Okay, so what do I want for next week? Here's what I want. Number one, I want your introduction. What's your topic? What's your thesis? And I want you to outline the structure of your argument. What are the main points that you're going to make in your paper? What's the roadmap of your paper? And you can just do that in a bullet point form. It doesn't have to be a narrative. Okay, so that's your task. What's your topic? What's your thesis? And then in bullet point form, the structure of your argument, i.e. the main points, the roadmap of your paper. What are you going to talk about in the body of your paper to support your argument? Number two, background of topic. You don't have to do that for next week. It's something that you'll do when you write your paper, and there's no need for you to do it for next week. So you can just put background. Now, the narrative section, remember the narrative section is the body of your paper. It's where you're presenting your evidence. It's where you're presenting your main points to support your overall argument. So I do want you to write a topic sentence. What are you going to write about in this section of the paper? And then I want you to drop in some evidence in B. I want you to neatly drop in some evidence that is correctly cited, evidence that you might use in your paper. Okay, it can be primary or secondary. And I'd like one or two bits of evidence for each of these narrative sections. You don't have to do analysis, and you don't have to do transition to second point. What I want to see in these narrative sections are a topic sentence. Okay, so what are you going to talk about in this section of the newspaper? How does it support your overall argument? What is the specific aspect that you're going to take in your argument, and how are you going to support it? And then drop in some evidence in each of these. So 2, 4, 5, drop in some evidence in each one of these from the roadmap that you're creating in how you're going to support your argument. But you don't have to do analysis. You don't have to do transition to second point. And then conclusion, you don't have to do anything that for next week for that. Conclusion is just conclusion. So to repeat what I want to see for next week, introduce your topic, state your thesis, do a bullet point of your main points, the roadmap of your paper. You don't have to do background for next week. That's something you write when you write your paper. For the narrative sections, and there's between 3 and 5 narrative sections, I think, for each paper. What's your topic sentence? So what are you going to talk about in that section? How does it fit into the overall paper, and how does it support your overall argument? And then I want to see some evidence from that big point. The same with all of the other narrative sections. What's the topic sentence? What are you going to talk about in that body of the paper? How does it support the overall argument that you're making in your paper? And I want to see some of your evidence, and I want to see the evidence correctly cited. You don't have to do analysis. You don't have to do transition to third point. And then you don't have to write a conclusion either. That's something you'll do when you write the paper. So that's what the assignment is for next week. I want to get you started on thinking about how you're going to organize your material to support your argument. That is what an outline is for. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, please get in touch with me moving forward. And you're going to start writing your paper in the next week or so. So this is just a good way of getting you to think about how you're going to organize your paper before you begin to start writing. And the idea is the writing is always difficult, but at least you have the A, B's, and C's of how you're going to approach your paper, how you're going to organize your paper.